Kashiba-chan here, and welcome to Google Translating AI written Christmas stories 2025. So I'm going to come up with 4 different Christmas stories, run it through the AI, and then Google Translate it. So the first story I am going to start with is a K-pop demon hunter story. So Huntrix, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe versus the Saja boys, Jinu, Baby, Abby, Romance, and Mystery. So Huntrix, Rumi, Mira, Zoe versus the Saja boys in a Christmas Carol. In a Christmas caroling battle. Okay. Alright. It was a chilly winter evening, and the snowflakes gently fell onto the bustling streets of the city. The smell of hot chocolate and roasted chestnuts filled the air, signaling the start of the holiday season. In a small town square, 2 groups of friends, Huntrix and the Saja boys, stood facing each other, their eyes gleaming with excitement and competitiveness. The stage was set for the ultimate Christmas caroling battle. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, the trio that made up Huntrix, were known for their angelic voices and harmonious blends. They had been practicing for weeks, perfecting their rendition of Silent Night and Jingle Bell Rock. Across from them, the Saja boys, consisting of Jinu, Baby, Abby, Romance, and Mystery, were confident in their own abilities. Their powerful vocals and upbeat energy were sure to get the crowd moving. The rules were simple. Each group would take turns singing a Christmas carol, and the crowd would decide who won. The competition began, and Huntrix launched into a beautiful a cappella version of The First Noel. Their voices soared, filling the square with a sense of peace and tranquility. The crowd applauded, and the Saja boys took their turn. Jinu, the group's leader, started off with a smooth R&B inspired rendition of Last Christmas. The crowd swayed to the music, and Baby's rap verse added a fun modern twist. Abby's powerful vocals brought the house down, and Romance and Mystery's harmonies added a touch of sophistication. The crowd cheered, and it was clear that this was going to be a tough competition. The battle continued, with each group trying to outdo the other. Huntrix sang a heart-filled version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, while the Saja boys performed a funky, danceable version of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. The crowd was divided, some cheering for the sweet, harmonious sound of Huntrix, while others danced along to the Saja boys' energetic performance. As the night drew to a close, the 2 groups came together to sing a final joint rendition of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Their voices blended together in perfect harmony, filling the square with a sense of joy and festive spirit. The crowd erupted into applause, and it was clear that both groups had won. As they took their final bow, Rumi turned to Jinu and smiled. I think we can call it a draw, she said, and Jinu nodded in agreement. The 2 groups mingled, exchanging stories and laughter, and the Christmas caroling battle became a night to remember. As they parted ways, they all knew that the true spirit of Christmas had won, the spirit of friendship, community, and joyful celebration. But they hate each other! Well, I can't say Rumi hates them, but Zoe and Mira do. Anyway, time to translate this. Alright, time to read this translated. On a chilly winter afternoon, snowflakes gently drifted down onto the bustling city streets. The air was filled with the warm scent of hot chocolate and roasted cinnamon, signaling the start of the holiday season. In a small courtyard, two groups of friends, Huntrix and the Lion Boys, stood facing each other, their eyes sparkling with excitement and friendly rivalry. The stage was set for the ultimate Christmas competition. Huntrix's trio, Lumi, Mira, and Joy, we only got one name right out of that group, were known for their angelic voices and perfect harmonies. They had been practicing Silent Night and Jingle Bell Rock for weeks, honing their skills. Across from them stood the Lion Boys, Geno, Baby, Abby, Roman, Romeo, and Abigail. Wait, is there 6 here? Gano's supposed to be Ginu, Baby is Baby, Abby is Abby. Roman, Romeo, and Abigail. Okay, I think Roman's supposed to be romance, but they got Romeo out of mystery, and where the hell did Abigail come from? Okay. Their powerful voices and boundless energy were sure to captivate the audience. The rules were simple. Each team would take turns singing Christmas carols, and the audience would decide the winner. The competition began with Huntrix's beautiful rendition of El Primer Noel. So they actually did the whole Spanish thing. They never translated the Spanish. Okay, whatever. Their voices resonated, filling the courtyard with peace. The audience applauded, and the Lion Boys took the stage with confidence. The leader, Geno, sang a smooth R&B version of Last Christmas. The audience chuckled along, and Baby's rap added a sophisticated yet humorous touch. Abby's powerful voice captivated the crowd, and the harmony of romance and mystery created a special emotional impact. So they brought romance and mystery back. They didn't capitalize their names. So I'm wondering, I don't know. The fans were amazed, and a fierce competition was anticipated. So wait, what happened to, who was it? Roman, Romeo, and Abigail. Okay, Google Translate. The friendly rivalry continued with each group trying to outdo the other. Huntrix sang the heartfelt Have a Little Christmas Merry. That was... Yep, that's perfect English right there. While the Lion Boys performed the upbeat, danceable Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. The audience was divided between those who applauded Huntrix's sweet vocals and those who danced along to the Lion Boys' energetic performance. As the evening drew to a close, the two groups performed We Wish You a Merry Christmas together. Their voices blended perfectly, filling the square with joy and Christmas spirit. The crowd erupted in applause, and it was clear that both groups had won. As they said their final goodbyes, Lumi smiled at Zeno, it's not Geno anymore, and said, I guess this is what they call a tie. Zeno nodded, the two groups mingled, chatting and laughing, making their cruiser battle an unforgettable evening. As it was time to say goodbye, everyone knew that the true spirit of Christmas, the spirit of sharing and celebrating joy, had prevailed. Well then, they definitely screwed that up. Lion Boys, Geno de Zeno, and then they added a 6th member to the Saja Boys. Okay, next story. Okay, so the next story is called A Multiverse Christmas. Santa visits the Has-Been Hotel, Imp Headquarters, the Akatsuki Base, and the Thousand Sunny. Santa Claus had delivered toys to every corner of Earth, but this year he had a new route, the multiverse. His reindeer's hooves shimmered across dimensions as the sleigh of infinite cheer descended first upon the Has-Been Hotel, a glittering tower in the heart of hell. "Merry Christmas, denizens of the damned," Santa boomed, his jolly voice echoing through the hotel's Art Deco lobby. The staff, a motley crew of demons, angels, and soulful misfits, stared in awe as he handed out gifts. A Heaven Hop advent calendar for Charlie, a soul-siphoning candy cane for Alistair to sweeten your deal-making, and personalized redemption bingo cards for the residents. Even Alistair, the devil with a penchant for chaos, smirked. "This is excellent, Santa. I'll haunt you in the nicest way possible." Next stop, Imp Headquarters, a chaotic lair beneath a cursed forest. Squabbling imps swarmed Santa with their tiny horns glinting. "Santa, Santa, I want a laser yo-yo. I want a demon pet," he heard a particularly rambunctious imp, Puggy, that's not in hell of a boss, tug his beard. "You forgot my sister's dimension," Santa chuckled, tossing enchanted sacks of candy and a wish granter that only worked for 1 hour. "Use it wisely." He winked as the imps erupted into a cacophony of giggles and arguments. Santa slipped away, his sleigh leaving a trail of glittering mist. The North Pole's next coordinates led them to the Akatsuki base. Hidden in a storm-laden mountain, Santa landed amidst the sound of thunder, his red coat blending with the gray clouds. Kakuzu, ever the pragmatist, materialized first. "You're delivering toys to terrorists?" he grumbled, but Itachi, serene as ever, smiled faintly. A pause in chaos is a rare gift. Santa handed them presents. A peace pipe for Conan, though she'd never use it. A fake Nine-Tails Tamagotchi for Kisame. And a chaos to energy converter for Kakuzu. "Merry Christmas," Santa said. Kakuzu muttered about ridiculous expenses, but pocketed the gifts anyway. What the fuck? Okay. Last stop, the Thousand Sunnies, sailing the Grand Line. The Straw Hats gathered on deck, their laughter carrying over the waves. Santa dropped a rope ladder. Grinning, "Merry Christmas, adventurers." Luffy's eyes lit up. "Meat?" Santa handed him a one-piece Christmas feast that never spoiled. Zoro got a personalized sword sharpener extraordinaire kit, and Nami received a treasure map that led to a floating island of candy. "For luck," Santa said. Sanji bowed deeply. "You're a lifesaver, sir." As dawn broke, Santa soared into the next dimension. His sleigh, sprinkling stardust in every world, joy flickered like a candle in the dark. A tiny hopeful light. After all, Christmas wasn't just about the gifts. It was about showing up, even in hell, even in stormy peaks or cursed forests or endless seas. And somewhere an imp named Puggy was already planning next year's wish list. Who the hell is Puggy? Vivine, what are you hiding from us Helliverse fans? Alright, I guess it's time to... Oh, I didn't read this part. Merry Christmas, Universes. Alright, time to translate this. Alright, here's the story translated. Christmas in the universe. Can already tell this is going to be a ride. Santa has delivered toys all over the world, but this year he's embarking on a new journey. One of diversity. Sounds valid. His crocodile heels gleamed as they traveled through dimensions, and his sleigh, a symbol of absolute bliss, landed for the first time at the Has-Been Hotel, a luxurious castle in the heart of hell. It's a castle, not a hotel. Merry Christmas, cursed people! Santa's cheerful voice echoes through the hotel's Art Deco lobby. The servants, a group of ghosts, angels, and possessed people, were surprised when Santa handed over the gifts. Charlie gets a flying Christmas calendar. Alistair gets a soul-sucking chocolate bar. Delicious stuff. And the residents get personalized Salvation bingo cards. Even Alistair's angry ghost is cute. This is very good, Santa. I'll torture you to make it taste better. Oh my god, this is great. This is such a great story. Thank you, Google. Next up was the demon headquarters, a complex under a cursed forest. Party elves surrounded Santa Claus, their little horns glowing. Santa Claus, I want a yogurt laser. What is a yogurt laser? I want a pet dragon. Santa heard the call. The most attractive vampire, Fergie, tugged at Santa's collar. You forgot to measure our sister. This story got wild. What the hell? Santa laughed and tossed him a bag of magic candy and a wish granter that only lasted an hour. Use it wisely. He blinked as the ghosts scream and bicker. Santa drives off his sleigh, leaving a shimmering trail of fog behind him. Another coordinate to the northeast leads to the Akatsuki base. Hidden in the windswept mountains, Santa descended with a thud, his red coat tumbling into the blue clouds. Kakuzu, the one with the action, appeared first. You send toys to bastards? He sighed, but Itachi, as usual, smiled quietly. Peace in the midst of chaos is a wonderful gift. Santa brings them presents. Conan receives an arrow of peace, though Conan would never use it, of course. Kisame, the fake nine-tailed Tamagotchi. And Kakuzu, the chaos energy charger. Merry Christmas, Santa said. Kakuzu groaned. The money is ridiculous, but accepted the gift anyway. What money did he get? Okay. Their final destination is Sunny, running on the Grand Line. The Straw Hat Pirates gathered on the ship. Their shouts echoed off the waves. Santa smiled and climbed down the rope ladder. Merry Christmas, adventurers. Luffy's eyes lit up. Meat? Santa Claus gave Luffy a perishable, one-of-a-kind Christmas present. A perishable one. Zoro received a personalized forest sword. And Nami receives a treasure map that leads to Candy's floating island. Santa said, good luck. Sanji bowed deeply. You are our savior. At dawn, Santa scattered stardust on his sleigh and rode to another place. In every world, joy lights the light of hope, says the candle. Not in darkness, just exchanging gifts. Christmas is about being everywhere, whether in hell of the windswept mountains deep in the cursed forest or on the endless coast. And somewhere there is a little devil named Fergie who has made a wish list for you for the year ahead. Merry Christmas to the world. That was a ride. I loved that. That was hilarious. I can't wait to see what the next story brings. Okay, our next story is Angel Dust hosts a sexy Secret Santa gift exchange at the Hazbin Hotel. Title: A Hell of a Sensuous Secret. The Hazbin Hotel's ballroom shimmered with strings of neon lights and the low hum of anticipation. Angel Dust, clad in a crimson dress that hugged her figure like a second skin, twirled a serpent-shaped cane around her fingers, her grin sharp enough to cut steel. Surprises, darlings, are my specialty. What? She purred, addressing the gathered demons, angels, and oddities. But Angel Dust isn't a girl. I guess we're rolling with Angel Dust as a girl. Her eyes landed on the reluctant participants. Charlie clutching eggnog like a lifeline. Alistair leaning against a pillar, his grin both amused and predatory. and Husk who'd rather have gouged out his eyes than play along. But Angel had persuaded them with a mix of blackmail, honeyed flattery, and a promise of fun. Secret Santa baby, she announced, tossing a velvet bag of folded slips onto the table. Rules are simple. Simple. Find your match, unwrap their gift, and enjoy. Her emphasis on the last word drew a few nervous chuckles. Charlie drew Alistair's name immediately. A cruel twist of fate, she thought until she unwrapped her gift. A vial of glistening amber oil. A new signature scent, Alistair drawled, plucking it from her hands. Cinnamon, vanilla, and something spicier. His tongue flicked out to taste the air. Did you make this yourself, love? A little help from Angel, Charlie admitted, blushing. Alistair's grin widened. Delicious. I'll wear it tonight's show. That's not proper English. Okay. Husk received a parcel tied with black ribbon, inside a single blood red rose and a note. From the demon who needs a little warmth. The sender, a certain silver-haired incubus who'd been avoiding Husk's gaze all week. Husk's stoic mask faltered. Pathetic, he muttered, yet tucked the rose behind his ear. Alistair's gift for Charlie arrived as a velvet box holding a vintage music box. Inside, a tiny Alistair figurine spun, singing a lullaby in a voice as smooth as motor oil. A keepsake, he whispered later, cornered her. To remind you of our friendship. His fingers brushed her cheek. You've got a certain effect on people, Charlie. She melted. Yo, no, we're not doing a Charlie Alistair fanfic here. No, thank you. Get that out of here. Oh no. Angel's own gift, a custom, don't know what that means. Okay, massage voucher to Ulrich, the vampire baron, a relaxing everything with your favorite succubus. She teased Who the hell is Ulrich? Ulrich's pale face flushed crimson. I find this utterly inappropriate, but Angel knew better. Later, she'd overhear him thanks to Alistair's new assistant. Who is Ulrich? Is there something I missed in Hazbin Hotel? The night peaked with Angel's grand gesture, a private dance for the entire room, stripping off her dress to reveal a skin-tight, iridescent bodysuit. She moved like liquid skin, her serpent cane hissing in rhythm. Even Alistair leaned in, mesmerized, as Charlie swayed to the beat, eyes bright with wonder. This is so bad. By midnight, the hotel buzzed with secrets exchanged and hearts subtly unnerved. Angels slinked away. Triumphant chaos, after all, was her love language. Are we talking about drag Angel here? It's the only reason I would think to call angel dust a her. And hell, well, it never felt so alive. I'm so scared to translate this. I'm ready. I can't wait to see what the hell Google does for me here. Alright, here we go. I'm ready for this disaster we translated. Title, Disturbing Secrets. Oh my god, wow. The Hazbin Hotel dance floor glowed with bright neon lights and unexpected background music. Angel Dust, in a red dress that clung to her body like a second skin, twirled a serpentine knife between her fingers so sharp it could cut through iron. Miracles, my dears, that's my specialty, she said softly as demons, angels, and all sorts of nonsense streamed in. She glanced at the participants, who seemed unfazed. Charlie clung to her eggnog as if her life depended on it. Alistair leaned against a pillar with a silly grin, and Husk was so terrified he wanted to claw his eyes out. But Angel couldn't comfort them with kind words and promises of happiness. What does this have to do with Christmas? Okay, whatever. Secret Santa, my dears, she said, tossing a flooded felt bag onto the floor. The rules are simple. Find a partner, open a gift, and have fun. Many chuckled involuntarily, emphasizing the last word. Charlie immediately called out to Alistair. A cruel twist of fate held her captive until she opened the gift box. The gift was a sprig of shimmering sage. Smells like a new record, Alistair says, taking the sprig from her hand, with cheese, vanilla, and something sweeter. He stuck out his tongue and sniffed it. Did you make this yourself, darling? Angel, I had a little help, Charlie admitted, frowning. Alistair's eyes widened. It's a mess. I'll fix it before tonight's show. Okay. Heath held up a piece of white ribbon. Inside was a blood-red rose and a message, for the devil who needs peace. Where? With the silver-haired beast he'd been avoiding all week. Heath's mask twitched. What a shame, he whispered, but still tucked the rose behind his ear. Alistair's gift to Charlie was a box containing an antique music box. Inside, a small, smiling statue of Alistair hummed in a voice as smooth as motor oil. Souvenirs, Alistair encouraged her. They'll remind you of our friendship. He traced a finger along her cheek. Charlie, you leave a lasting impression. Charlie's heart sank. Angel's gift was a 2 pajama card for the vampire Lieutenant Alec. Enjoyed the evening with your favorite suitor, Angel said sweetly. Alec's cold eyes lit up. I feel so uncomfortable, but Angel knew what was going to happen. Later, she would hear Alec thanking her for Alistair's new assistant. That whole paragraph made no sense. The night ended with Angel's most ambitious plan, a private dance party for everyone. Naked. Clad only in a tight silk slip, she moved like liquid sin, her heart pounding to the rhythm. Even Alistair stumbled forward in surprise, and Charlie, blindfolded, ran toward the sound. Around midnight, they exchanged secrets at the hotel, and it hurt a little. Angel crossed her legs and stepped forward triumphantly. The t-shirt was his declaration of love. So what? Well, he had never seen anything like it before. What the hell was that? That was a mess in itself. That was more of a mess than the actual generated story. Yee. Okay. The title of our next story is A Christmas to Never Forget. Gojo dresses up as Santa Claus and does naughty things. Alright, here we go. It was Christmas Eve in Tokyo, and the streets were buzzing with holiday cheer. The neon lights of the city's skyscrapers reflected off the snow-covered streets, creating a mesmerizing display of color and light. Meanwhile, in a small apartment, a peculiar plan was unfolding. Gojo, a mischievous and charismatic young man, was getting ready for a Christmas like no other. As he rummaged through his closet, a sly grin spread across his face. He pulled out a bright red Santa suit, complete with a fluffy white beard and a pair of sunglasses. Gojo couldn't resist the urge to dress up as Santa Claus and spread some holiday chaos. With his costume on, Gojo set out into the night, armed with a bag of naughty tricks. He snuck into the local park and replaced the traditional Christmas decorations with risky posters and hilarious graffiti. The next morning, the good people of Tokyo would wake up to find their park transformed into a cheeky winter wonderland. Gojo's next stop was the city's famous Shibuya Crossing. Disguised as Santa, he began handing out gifts to unsuspecting pedestrians. Instead of traditional presents, Gojo's bags contained whoopee cushions, silly string, and other prankster goods. The reactions ranged from shock to laughter, and soon a crowd had gathered to watch the naughty Santa in action. As the night wore on, Gojo's antics became more and more outrageous. He filled the fountain in front of the city hall with jello and even convinced a group of cosplayers to join him in a choreographed dance routine to a Japanese pop song. The crowd roared with laughter, and Gojo, still in his Santa suit, took a triumphant bow. The next morning, Tokyo woke up to find itself in the midst of a Christmas miracle, or chaos. Depending on how you looked at it, the city's social media feeds were filled with photos and videos of Gojo's escapades, and the hashtag Naughty Santa was trending worldwide. I was hoping for this to be more of a centralized story, but okay. As for Gojo, he was long gone, his Santa suit discarded in a back alley, but the legend of his Christmas mischief lived on, and the people of Tokyo would never forget the year that a rogue Santa Claus brought laughter and joy to their city. And who knows, maybe next year Gojo would don the red suit once again, and Tokyo would be treated to another unforgettable Christmas. I was really hoping for something sensual, not, oh look, mischief and pranks. Alright, let's translate this. Alright, and here's this one. On Christmas Eve, people revel in the streets of Tokyo. The neon lights of the skyscrapers glisten off the snow-covered streets, creating a dazzling show of color and light. Meanwhile, a unique plan was developed in a small apartment. Gozo, a playful and talented young man, is ready for a very special Christmas. A mischievous smile spread across Gojo's face as he rummaged through his closet. He pulled out a bright red Santa suit, complete with black beard and dazzling sunglasses. He can't stand dressing up as Santa Claus and causing some Christmas chaos. That sentence made no sense. Dressed up in his Santa Claus costume, Gozo set off into the night with a bag full of jokes. He sneaked into the park and replaced the traditional Christmas decorations with playful signs and cheerful calligraphy. Tomorrow, Tokyo residents will find that the park has been transformed into a winter playground. Gozo's next destination is the famous Shibuya River crossing. He dresses up as Santa Claus and hands out gifts to unsuspecting passersby. Instead of traditional gifts, Gozo's package includes a whoopee mask. Reactions ranged from surprise to laughter, and soon a crowd gathered to witness Santa's mischievous antics. As night fell, Gozo's actions became increasingly absurd. He filled the fountain in front of the town hall with jelly and even persuaded cosplayers to dance to Japanese pop songs. The crowd cheered wildly, and Gojo, still wearing a Santa suit, bowed his head in victory. The next morning, Tokyo wakes up to a Christmas miracle, or depending on your perspective, chaos. The city's social media was flooded with pictures and videos of Gozo's antics, with the hashtag Naughty Santa becoming a trending topic. Gozo is gone, his Santa suit abandoned in an alley, but the legend of his Christmas prank lives on, and Tokyoites will never forget the year the mischievous Santa brought laughter and joy to the city. And who knows, maybe next year Gozo will be wearing his red Santa suit again and giving you another unforgettable Christmas in Tokyo. That one wasn't as good as the other ones. I think I have time to do one more. I'm going to do one more. I hope this is going to be a good ending one. So, Charlie, Morningstar, Alistair the Radio Demon, Angel Dust, Baggy, and Husk save Christmas from Blitz, Millie, Moxie, and Luna, who destroyed the anime-verse. Alright, here we go. The air reeked of title, A Christmas Carol in Hell and Beyond. The air reeked of burnt tinsel. What remained of the anime multiverse lay in pixelated ruins. A casualty of Blitz's jagged scythe and Luna's lunar tantrums. Now, Christmas, a holiday even demons couldn't ignore, was next on the villains list. Charlie Morningstar, scythe in hand and a cigarette dangling from his lips, I guess Charlie's a boy, surveyed the wreckage of what had been bustling Christmas market in Osaka. Blitz is not just criminally incompetent, he muttered. He's personally hell-bent on chaos. Speaking of hell, rasped Alistair the Radio Demon. His crimson eyes flickered to a nearby rooftop. There, Millie and Moxie were hijacking Santa's sleigh, stuffing it with stolen sake and explosives. Ah, the Yuletide spirit, he crooned into his microphone, grinning. Let's tune these hellions to static. Angel Dust, perched on Vaggy's shoulders, cackled. I'm in the festive mood. Who's up for a snowball fight? Without waiting, he hurled a glittering orb that exploded into confetti, diverting Moxie's attention. Vaggy bared her fangs, leaping after the rogue reindeer. Her chains clinking jingle bells she'd somehow affixed. Husk, ever the pragmatist, kicked a stray pinata at Millie, who dodged, cackling. Bah humbug, she slurred, firing a sake bottle. Husk deflected it, the bottle shattering into mist. At the town center, Blitz stood atop a crumbled Christmas tree, its branches sparkling with his dark energy. Luna hovered beside him, her guitar humming a dissonant carol. Merry mass destruction, Blitz bellowed. This world's already dead. Why not make it fun? Charlie ascended, scythe glowing. You're missing the point of Christmas, he said, voice sharp as ice. It's not about destruction, it's about annoying the hell out of you. Blitz swung first, his scythe cleaving a path through holiday lights. Charlie parried the clash and sending sparks flying. Below, Alistair's voice boomed over the din. Attention villains, did someone say chaos? Because this frequency's about to get sacred. He thrust his hand, unleashing a wave of distorted sound that froze Luna mid-strum. Angel Dust, meanwhile, had crash-landed into Santa's sleigh, now a chaotic cockpit of eggnog and explosives. Need a distraction, he yelled. Vaggy, ever reliable, hurled a chain-wreathed snowman at Moxie, buying time for Husk to disarm the bombs with a few well-placed kicks. The final clash came as Charlie and Blitz spiraled toward the sky, sides colliding. You're tired, Charlie, Blitz sneered. This is fun. Yeah, Charlie shot back, dodging a slash. I'll show you fun. He lodged, but not to strike. Instead, he grabbed a fallen strand of Christmas lights and wove it around their scythes, locking them. Merry Christmas, you idiot. Below, Alistair's static silenced Luna's guitar, while Vaggy and Husk subdued Millie and Moxie with a creatively barbed threat involving eternal karaokes of despair. And the villains were, why is there random kanji? And the villains were bound in Christmas wrapping paper. Charlie stood atop the ruined tree, watching the townspeople rebuild. Alistair materialized beside him, sipping something suspiciously like eggnog. So, are we done with the festive nonsense? For now, Charlie said, lighting a cigarette, but hey, at least this beats carols. Alistair laughed, the sound crackling like a fire. To Christmas, then, may it be eternally inconvenient. Somewhere a reindeer sneezed. The show, as ever, went on. Okay. Alright. Time to translate this. Alright. Last one. Title: A Christmas Carol from Hell and Beyond. The smell of burnt food hung in the air. The world was littered with the ruins of pixelated houses, victims of Blitz's thorny machines, and Luna's lunar explosions. Christmas, a holiday even the devil couldn't ignore, was once again a day for enemies. Charlie Morningstar, knife and cigarette in mouth, was browsing the goods at the once crowded Osaka Christmas market. Blitz isn't just incompetent, she said. At least Google got her gender right. He chose to live in a shack. Speaking of hell, said Alistair, his radio demon eyes glowing red from the roof of a nearby building. Then Millie and Moxie stole Santa's sleigh, filling it with stolen liquor and explosives. Oh, the spirit of Christmas, he yelled into the microphone, laughing. Let's get this hell over with. Angel Todd, perched on Baggy's shoulders, laughed. The party's on. Anyone up for a snowball fight? He threw a glittery balloon without hesitation, which exploded into confetti, attracting Monica. Bezzy shook hands with a stray deer. Its genitals exposed and its chain jingling like a bell. What the Okay. Husk, cunning as ever, kicked Millie, who quickly dodged and laughed. Ugh, Hamburg. Millie fell and dropped a ceramic bottle. Husk spun it and it exploded into a thick mist. In the city center, Blitz was atop a twisted Christmas tree. The branches glowed with his dark energy. Luna strummed her guitar and sang a Christmas carol beside it. Happy mass destruction holiday, Blitz yelled. The world is dead, so why not have some fun? Charlie stood up and ignited her sword. You don't understand the spirit of Christmas, she said sternly. It's not destructive, it's just extremely angry. Blitz jumped first, slashing his way through the Christmas lights with his sword. Charlie blocked the collision, but the impact ignited a fire. Below, Alistair's voice cut through the noise. Attention, predators! Who said chaos? This frequency is now sacred space. He gestured with an incomprehensible hand movement, and Luna smiled, then froze. Meanwhile, Angel Dust had crashed into Santa's sleigh, which was now a series of dead eggs and explosives. Need a distraction, he yelled. As usual, Baggy threw a chain snowman at Moxie, allowing Husk to explode with a few well-aimed shots. The final appeal came as Charlie and Blitz threw through the air, clashing swords. I'm tired, Charlie, Blitz chuckled. This is really fun. Really? Charlie said, sharply dodging the light. I'll show you how much fun I am. She lunged forward, but didn't aim to shoot. Instead, she grabbed a broken branch from a Christmas tree and wrapped it around the console, securing it. Merry Christmas to you, you idiot. That paragraph made 0 sense. Below, Alistair silenced Luna's guitar, and Baggy and Husk, defying the hilarious threat, sang desperate karaoke. As people covered the tree with Christmas wrapping paper, Charlie remained atop the broken tree, watching the villagers rebuild it. Alistair approached, drinking something that looked like alligator juice. So this Christmas revolt is over. For now, Charlie said, lighting a cigarette. But at least this is a Christmas prank. Alistair's voice cracked. See you at Christmas, May. It always be a strange Christmas. Somewhere a squirrel chirped. The show went on as usual. All right. Don't know what the hell that was, but okay. That's it for today, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Google translating videos. Also, follow me on Twitter at Kashiba Gamer Girl and on TikTok at Kashiba Chan. Also, don't forget to follow my other channel at Straw Cat Crew on both YouTube and TikTok. And I'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas and bye-bye. As the snow continued to fall, the first gift hit the table. He dawned, eyes gleaming with anticipation, unwrapped a bundle of robes and a set of handcuffs from Takazu. Ooh, very resourceful, he chuckled, casting a glance around the table that promised trouble. It was Tsunadi's turn. Why is she